Hey guys, welcome to Life Group. We're so glad to have you guys here. We are Changed Lives, Changing Lives. I'm so excited to be interviewing my mentor and my pastor, Pastor Craig Rochelle. He's recently written a book that he talked about this weekend, Hope in the Dark. And I love the way you outlined Habakkuk for us, the way you laid it out for us. You told us basically chapter 1, chapter 2, and chapter 3 have general themes, and I think we go through these phases when we're facing a dark moment in our lives. And so tell me real quick about chapter 1. Would you just briefly tell us what that was?
Yeah, so chapter 1 is about wondering, and Habakkuk is a different type of prophet. Most prophets prophesy to the people. He's kind of up into God's business, and he's asking God, why aren't you doing what I know you can do? And so he's hurting, he's confused, he's perplexed. And what I like about Habakkuk is that he's just real, he's raw. And I grew up, Pastor Bill, in a more of a Christian environment where if you ever doubted, then you probably weren't close to God. And so it would almost discourage you from telling the truth of what's inside of you and encourage you kind of to fake it at times. And Habakkuk doesn't fake it at all. So he gives you a little bit of freedom to express your hurts to God, to tell him when you don't understand, and that's what he does. He kind of unleashes. And
that's so good. Do me a favor right now. I want to ask you right now to turn to your group and just share something maybe that you have to get up in God's grill about, which sounds crazy, like, wait, but am I allowed to do that? Am I allowed to question God? I bet maybe you're wondering about some area of your life, so do me a favor and share that with each other right now. So you said chapter 2 in Habakkuk is all about waiting and about how none of us like to wait. Right. Tell me about that.
Do you like to wait?
No, I don't.
No. Yeah, well, the interesting thing is Habakkuk, God says, I'm going to raise up the Babylonians to come and destroy you. And then Habakkuk's kind of on the edge of his seat, like, when is this going to happen? And he knows it is because he trusts God at his word, but he's waiting. Most of us, we're waiting not for God to do something bad like that, but we're on the other side. We're waiting for God to do something good, to heal somebody that we love, to restore a relationship, to provide in some way that we may need something, to bring us comfort, help us overcome anxiety or an addiction or whatever. And none of us like waiting. But I do like the verse that says, though it linger, wait for it. And I hope if there's someone who's waiting for an answer to prayer, waiting for God to reveal himself, that you'll recognize when it is his time, he always shows up. He's always faithful. And someone else said it, and we kind of laugh about it, but God is rarely ever early, it seems like, but he's never late. In his time he'll come. So if you're lingering, wait for it. God will prove himself true and faithful.
That's so good. That's so good. Do me a favor right now and share with one another an area maybe you're waiting on. Not everyone necessarily has one today, but I bet some of you do. So where are you waiting on the Lord? The last chapter of Habakkuk, chapter 3, you used a word that really surprised me. First of all, you said it was sort of a reset, but also then you focused in on a word, and I can hardly say it, so I'm going to let you say it. Say it again.
Well, Shigionoth.
Shigionoth,
yes.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay. Not really a word I use every day.
No, I had to look it up and be very careful how you say it.
That's right. That's right. So tell us about what that means and what that means for us today in the middle of our darkest moments.
So Shigionoth is a word that's only used in Habakkuk 3:1, and it's a little-known musical term that basically talks about how you are to praise. And this word means kind of like a full body, exuberant, all-in praise. And what I like about it is that Habakkuk, he gets to that point. So he's been wondering, and then he's been waiting, and then things don't turn out ever the way he wanted, and yet he still has this posture of full-blown worship to God. Wow. And this is worship that's not because of what is happening or what's not happening. This is worship for who God is. And that's Shigionoth. That's God. Even though I'm hurting, even though I don't see what I want, you are still good, and so therefore I praise you because of your goodness.
That's so good. That's so good. I want to challenge you guys. Normally at the end of our Life Group time, I challenge you guys to pray for one another. I think that's great, but maybe tonight's different. Maybe tonight you just simply focus on saying, God, I want to praise you and thank you for who you are in my life. So I want to encourage you guys to do that. And I don't mean to ignore the needs that you have, but wouldn't it be great instead if we said, God, you're bigger than all that? and we just want to thank you for who you are. Thanks for coming to Life Group. Please do me a favor, share with one another how you can pray for each other, but then let's just lift up God and thank God for who He is in our lives.